Hello and welcome back to the channel with me. Today is Clayton, and it's actually been quite a while since we've done a Friday show. I think we just missed last week due to United's just the fixture list, the match preview and all of that. But Clayton, lots to talk about today. Obviously, Mason Greenwood, Harry Maguire, Akhil Twanzebe, some comments that were asked to Oli in the press conference. Just some things in general with United. So if you are new, please do subscribe. Please do smash the like button, and please do comment down below anything on your mind. Anything on your mind, just comment down below and we will definitely reply to that. But first of all, Clayton, I will ask, how are you feeling?
Still pretty good, yeah. I think the United, it's still got the blood running through the veins. Just you're feeling good after a night like that.
Yeah, that's very true. And we are playing Chelsea tomorrow, so I feel pretty good as well. In terms of United aspect. Maybe in terms of other stuff, I'm doing okay. But in terms of United, it's very good. It's very good at the moment, right? So obviously, Mason Greenwood, my son, a player I rate highly of. I think he has everything to become anything he wants in the world. He could become one of the best footballers in terms, especially if one of the best strikers this world has ever seen. He's finishing unmatched. No one ever judges Mason Greenwood on his skill ceiling and the skill that he has got at such a young age. But there are lots of stories came out that he has been late for training. He has been getting intoxicated with Brandon Williams on a Friday night. He has been causing some troublesome. So those are the negatives, right? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer today, when asked about all these stories about Mason Greenwood in the media, he said, "I have to disappoint you. He's never late for training. He's not a problem when he's in the training ground. He's always on time. I've seen the stories and some ex-United players talking about him, and they don't know what they're talking about." And he said also that if he was late for training, there are photographers always outside of Carrington, and they could tell you whether or not he has been late for training. And there has been pictures of Mason Greenwood at training. So Oli definitely backing young Mason Greenwood, and I respect that from Oli because it feels like something Sir Alex Ferguson would have done. We all know the stories of Ryan Giggs, Ronaldo when they were young, all these young players. I don't blame Greenwood for that because, when you were 18, we did it. When we were 18, we might have not been professional footballers, and it's easy to say now that if I was in Mason Greenwood's shoes, I had his talent, I played for the club I absolutely love, I would definitely behave. But when you're 18, you do get, quite intoxicated once in your life. You do tend to sleep late, wake up stuff, you do tend to do, immature things, you're not matured yet. But Oli doing exactly what a manager should do, treating Mason Greenwood as if he's one of his own, saying that, listen, none of these things are true, and he's basically put his neck on the line for Greenwood, because even if it is true, he's backed him. And Greenwood would be like, what, Oli, you protected me, thank you. Even if it wasn't true, if the media are just coming out to get him, he'd be like, still, you protected me, these stories are not true, but thanks for standing my ground. Either way, Oli did an absolute fantastic job. So Clay, what I will ask you is two things. What do you think of the way Oli handled the Mason Greenwood stories? And if these Greenwood stories are, and you were Oli, what would you do? How would you manage him at this age?
Yeah. The first initial thoughts of this whole situation are just, why is he still not playing though? He's not in the team sheets anywhere. If he's okay with it, if nothing's happened, then something else is up, and I'm just confused about the whole situation in general still.
But because he had that slight injury, that's all he used the excuse for.
Yeah. I mean, he plays Maguire through slight injuries at the end of the day. I don't think he cares all that much when he says a slight injury.
I do disagree with that, because like Marcus and Moloto said, that it's different when it comes to Greenwood. Oli loves Mason
I think it is different. I definitely agree. I do think it could be different with Greenwood, but it very much does look like he's treating him like his son. It does very much look like he wants to protect him in the media. He wants to give him as much positive coverage as possible, take away as many of those negatives. So that's a fantastic way of handling it. It's just it's still worrisome that he hasn't made a team sheet for the past 2-3 games.
Yeah. Well, Oli also did say that that Greenwood is fit. He's one of the players available, such as Twanzebe, such as Maguire, such as Cavani. They said they already. But I was going to also ask you, Clay, that if you were in Oli's shoes and this whole thing with Greenwood, let's say, is true, he has been coming late, he has been getting intoxicated, what would you do? Because personally, if I was him, I'd probably do what Ollie's doing, similar to Ollie's doing. I wouldn't say any of these things are true to the media. Obviously, why would I do that? Why would Ollie say, yes, definitely Mason Greenwood has been late for training. He has been intoxicated, because the media and just everyone in the
Yeah.
press will absolutely eat him alive. And you when you have a talent like this, you got to protect him at all costs.
Yeah.
You got to protect him at all costs. I think Ollie's spot on with that. And then off the field, I don't obviously we don't know what Ollie's telling him, but what I would tell Mason Greenwood, I'd listen to it. I'd be like, I'll tell him to come in, sit down, one-on-one conversation. I'll tell him,
Yeah.
like, Mason, you like one of my sons. You have everything in this world to be the best footballer this planet has ever seen. No one can match you skill level. Rashford, Martial, when they were your age, they were nowhere near as good. They haven't had a player this good in the academy forever. You are the talent, but you need to humble yourself. Don't believe your own hype. And I'm not saying you can't do it. Obviously, you have skills. People
Yep.
don't just hype you up for nothing. And I'll tell Mason Greenwood that, the people you surround yourself with, be very careful. Be very careful with those type of people, because, like his ex-girlfriend, I'm not saying she was, but like ex-girlfriend, who knows his other friends off the field, who knows if they're good friends, who's just saying they're just riding the Mason Greenwood train, but while the hype is there, and, just
Yeah.
completely not, just not good influence. And what I would tell Mason Greenwood, I'll be like, look at Marcus Rashford. Look at how he's off the field. Look at how he conducts himself on the field. Look at him. He's everything you want to be. He might not have the skill and the God-given talent that you have, but everything else Marcus Rashford has that you don't. And I would tell Rashford, I'll be like, Rashford, obviously English, you're close friends with Mason. I want you to treat him like your little brother. I want you to keep tabs on him. I want you to let me know, always, message him often, ask him what he's up to, just, make sure Mason Greenwood is okay. And those things we kind of miss. I'm not saying Ollie doesn't do it, but there is stories of Sir Alex Ferguson doing it. He always used to call David Beckham's mom, be like, how's David? How's his school? Is he still doing this? They took a lot of time, and that's what I really appreciate from the manager, is the small things that count, and small things like this. So I would tell Marcus Rashford, I'll tell Bruno also, to have a word with Mason Greenwood, show them that, like, you two are literally the most, off the field, best players I can ask for. My captain, Harry Maguire, doesn't conduct himself properly. So if I was Mason Greenwood, you'd be like, well, look at our captain. Does he conduct himself properly? And that's a big problem. That's, again, we'll get to why Maguire is not a captain, and again, why is that? Because of things like that. But so that's what I would do. What would you do, Clayton?
Yeah, I think a similar approach is definitely needed. You need to, at the very least, take away blame from Greenwood, especially in the media. That's definitely priority with someone like him. You don't exactly want him being under all this ridiculous pressure for some small, stupid thing that a simple conversation could probably sort out. Something like that is very necessary, just to deflect the blame. Say, wasn't happening. You can check the photographers. They're taking pictures of him. He's been training just fine. Nothing's wrong. And then a sit down is definitely required if everything is true behind the scenes. And I do think that's going Rashy, just come help out a little bit, make sure Mason's on the right path. Something like that would be fantastic. And that's only going to help him grow as a footballer and a person. And that's going to be a very useful tactic to employ.
Yeah, exactly. Because I even, like, when we played PSG, I was even telling, like, my dad and everyone that, look at Neymar, right? I'm not questioning Neymar is an insane footballer. He's skilled at everything, but I'll never, ever want him in my team. He's got no heart. The brain, the way he conducts himself, I can't stand Neymar the way he conducts himself. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why I don't like Neymar. I'm not saying that he can't skin you and put it top corner and win the game by himself. He can, but at the end of the day, when it counts the most, and he gets a red card, or he just swears the ref, or he's in some other scandal, I don't want those players in my room. Who live up their own hype train. I don't want those type of players. And that's what I would tell him. I'd be like, you know what? If you can have Mason Greenwood's skill level and Marcus Rashford's, just his mental and the way he conducts himself, you have probably the best professional footballer this world could see. It'd be like very similar to Ronaldo. Ronaldo also, when he was young, this is the thing. It's not all young players are perfect. Rashford is a very special case, but Ronaldo, he had his things when he was young. But look at Ronaldo now. Such a professional. You'll never hear of Ronaldo doing a madness like this. And on the field, he's got the skills to, pay the bills. So Greenwood, if he fixes his attitude, and I'm not saying there is an attitude problem, the media could very much well be trying to get him. But, if you conduct yourself like Marcus Rashford with your skill, Mason Greenwood, I'm telling you now, if you somehow listen to this, you know how much I love you. I love you most than anyone. I love you most than anyone. You can be the best footballer this world has ever seen in terms of a striker. you could be way better than Luis Suarez. You could be all these things, you know. You could be the next. Okay. You could be like the next Suarez, yeah. He was probably the best striker, you know. You can be way better than Aguero. You could be the Premier League top goal scorer. You could break Rooney's record. Everything is there for you to do and get. And, you know, just the end on Mason Greenwood, I seen on, I think the United Zone tweeted it out, or the United Report. I'm not sure which one, but you can go check on Twitter. But they tweeted out an article saying that where Manchester United rank their players, and they actually rank Mason Greenwood higher than they rank Martial and Marcus Rashford. So obviously, clearly, he's got the talent. No one saying he can't get the talent. Personally, with regards to that article, do I agree? Not really. I think Martial is still better than Mason Greenwood. I think his finishing will be better than. I think Greenwood's finishing will be better than Martial, but I think everything else, Martial has just got one up on. You know, in terms of his passing, his football IQ, he's skillful. Mason Greenwood, he's got a gun shot and he's got a gun left foot as well. But for me, that's about it. But you can definitely get better. So yeah, that's just with regards to that article. Clayton, obviously, Mason Greenwood's a young thing, but where would you rank the front three in terms of I would skill level? Let's just go, just in general football as a striker.
So we're just gonna do the front three. That's it. Not the rest of the team.
Because they said Greenwood they rated Greenwood more than Martial and Rashford. And I personally agree he's better than Rashford. I just don't think he's better than Martial.
Yeah, I think you could have it any three ways, in all honesty. I don't think any United fan would particularly argue if you had it one way or the other. But I think personally, or probably... Oh, that's tough. It's so tough. They're all
I know, especially because you love Marcus. Right?
Yeah, I love Rashi. I think he just does amazing things on the pitch and off the pitch. And
off the pitch.
He's one of the most one of the best players at United on his day. That's the thing. He can take number one spots on his day, and he's been on his day a lot recently. So it's hard to say that someone like him can't be that number one for us, right? So I think my list right now, as it stands, would probably be Rashi, Martial, Greeny.
Yeah. I mean, for now, definitely Rashford our number one. Because, he's doing the things. He's doing the things. On, off the field, he's doing the things. So, yeah, let's hope he continues that against Chelsea tomorrow, But, speaking of Chelsea tomorrow, Solskjaer also was asked about, Maguire, Axel, and, just the general. He says, Maguire is ready. He's ready to go. You know what happened? You know what that means. You're probably going to see a slap head there, and he'll probably be the captain. That's two mistakes. One, I wouldn't play him. Two, I wouldn't make him captain even if he does play. If I was Maguire, I understand why you want to come back in a team, because if I see my team perform like that against PSG, amazing defensively, and the captain on that day was insane as well. If I'm Maguire, even if I'm dead, I'm like, no, play me. I need a point to prove. So Maguire, I don't blame Maguire for wanting to be like, boss, I'm ready. Put me in, I'm ready. I expect that from Maguire. I would do it myself if I was in Maguire's situation. But Oli, if I was in Oli's situation, I'd be like, no. Listen, I gave you the captaincy. You as a captain of Manchester United, right? You as my captain, you seriously think Lindelof and Tuanzebe don't deserve to start after that performance? I would ask him. I don't know what Maguire would say. And I'd be like, Bruno Fernandes was captain that day. You telling me Bruno wasn't a captain that day? Honestly, and it'll be like, has Bruno not been more of a leader than you have? Be honest. Be honest. As your captain, as you the actual captain, be honest. Has Bruno been a better leader than you on the field and off the field? See what it says. Because I don't think Maguire have any reply to those things. I don't. But what Solskjaer also said, now, with regards to Tuanzebe, he said now it's about getting consistency in his performances. He's got to stay injury-free, we know that. But I think he can kick on. He's a leader, so it's very interesting. He's a leader. Can play right back, centre back, and midfield. So Oli clearly stating that he's versatile. Obviously, we all know he's the best. He's our best centre back. His best position is centre back. Midfield, if he does play midfield, he'll probably play in like a McTominay, Fred role, CDM. Obviously, he's very defensive. Right back, I can kind of see it because his tackling, his positioning is great. He's fast, so he's very similar to Wan-Bissaka in that regard. It's just he's more of a defined centre back than a right back. I think though he's very, very similar to Wan-Bissaka. Same type of speed, same type of tactics, same type of recoveries. Recovery pace. I think he's better than in the air than Wan-Bissaka, 100%. And I think obviously positioning in terms of centre back, he's better than Wan-Bissaka. In terms of right back, Wan-Bissaka's better. So listen, we know Tuanzebe is a centre back, but do you think Ollie's mentioning that he can play midfield and right back to maybe try to force him into the system somewhere else besides centre back just for Harry Maguire?
I wouldn't put it past him in all honesty. I think we could maybe do with just an injection of pace at that DM role. So I could potentially see Tuanzebe covering in front of Maguire and Lindelof. Something like that could potentially happen. I wouldn't be too surprised. But I do think we're going to see Maguire and Tuanzebe on the pitch a lot together this season, as long as they both stay fit, which we know they can. And let's just see how long it will be for, though.
Yeah. Because I put this to you, like, imagine our lineup tomorrow. I won't go through the whole lineup, but it's Maguire and Lindelof at centre back, and then Fred, Tuanzebe in the midfield there, the holdings. Fred, Tuanzebe, and Bruno.
That's not too bad. It doesn't
sound
too bad, but
it doesn't sound bad. I personally think if you do somehow chuck Tuanzebe into the midfield, though, like, surely that's a defender. Like, you literally played a defender in the midfield. Yeah. So I think Bruno or Donny will 100% have to start then. Because if I have Tuanzebe at the back, and logically on paper it makes sense. Tuanzebe is fast, he can defend like a madman, he's tackling good, aerial battle is very good. It sounds on paper like a perfect CDM. Similar to Foster Manson, like a perfect CDM. Except I think Tuanzebe is just a way better footballer. So you chuck Tuanzebe to be your CDM, all of a sudden, Bruno and Pogba, don't worry about it. Just go on.
Exactly.
Go on, do your thing, and that could be dangerous. So I don't know. We'll have to see with Ollie. I just found it very weird. He's a midfielder and he can play right back. I find that very, very weird.
I think it's always good to kind of hype up your players a little bit as well, though. So it's like, look how versatile he is. Like, he's a really good player and shouldn't be underrated whatsoever. Like, something like that, I think it is necessary for some players. Just get their name out there, just a little bit more, push their credentials, just say, like, he can do all this stuff and he's still such a talented footballer. It's always good on the, just good media coverage on it, yeah. And that just results in a better team environment, obviously. Doesn't feel as much pressure. It's a really good idea. But hopefully, I don't know if I want to see him in that DM position just yet. Especially in a game like Chelsea. Like,
especially a game like Chelsea,
yeah. If we see that against Chelsea, I don't know how I'm going to feel. I think that's going to have to be something that we reserve judgment to until we see him pocket Werner from that DM role. I think that's kind of what we have to wait for. And if he just looks lost, which I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing out of position, then we're going to have to actually play a DM in the DM role, It shouldn't be that obvious, but yeah, that's something we should look towards instead. But if he can play there and it's a good fit, I see no reason why he doesn't take a starting position as our main defensive mid.
Yeah, because listen, we don't know what goes on in training. We obviously can only see what happens on the pitch, and these small clips we do get to see. But maybe Ollie has seen, because like I said, on paper it makes sense. He can be a DM. He's very fast. Defensively, he's very good. Tackling, very good. Positioning, very good. Aerial ability, very good. He's injury prone, so that's the negative. But anything else, Tuanzebe he's got it down. He's got it in his skill set. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens on the weekend. I'd be very interested to see what it does, because with Tuanzebe, it's not only Tuanzebe, but the Maguire thing. That's what I'm going to ask you now, Clay. Not what do you think Ollie will do. What would you do and how would you feel about it if Maguire, 1, plays on Sunday, 2, is the captain, 3, we lose because while Maguire is on the pitch?
Personally, he's already dropped in my mind. I wouldn't start him with, if like everybody was injured, I'd rather scurry up a full Jones and just at this point and just go, just do something, be a presence, use that giant head of yours, just do something. But Harry Maguire's just been so bad recently, and Henny's just been inconsistent throughout the entirety of last season. He's been somehow one of our best defenders, but that's only because every other defender that we pair with makes a big mistake every game that we can shout at them for. Harry Maguire's never been this god-tier centre-back that's just come in and bossed the defence. In my mind, he's definitely dropped, but I seriously wouldn't be surprised if we see him. I think we will see him. But I'm asking you, Yeah.
If you see him, he's captain, and we
You're gonna be
lose.
upset.
What
Yeah.
do you think? What are you saying about Oli? Because I can tell you what, if Maguire plays, Maguire Lindelof plays, Maguire is the captain, and we lose, Oli out brigade is back. It is 100% back from the majority of the fan base. And these are the things we're saying that, what do you think, man? What are you think? Of course, if Oli does, however, play Maguire, he's the captain, and we win, it is what it is. Oli, you got your decision right. But I can tell you now, because it's not the popular thing to do, and the majority of the fan base wants Maguire dropped, wants the captaincy to be removed, thinks that Lindelof and Tuanzebe deserve to play after that game.
Yeah.
So if things go wrong for Oli, and Maguire is on that pitch, and he's the leader, Oli, my boy, you are putting yourself in a very dangerous area. Because I think that if you played Lindelof, Tuanzebe, and you know what, when it does a madness, or when it does something, or Chelsea do something, and they score, I don't think people will be as upset. I think people will be very upset. Like I said, you do need to win the game, but it's not more reason to be upset. We can't be like, he didn't play Maguire. We wanted Maguire not to play, so he did do that. I backed it. We all backed it. Look what happened.
Exactly.
And then we can move on. But if he does play Maguire and lose, that's what I'm feared for. Because I fear for Oli's job, because it's not off the line yet. He's not. He's an amazing run. Newcastle in PSG, amazing. That's fantastic results. But you still got a long way to go. Until this run ends. So we'll have to see.
So personally, I think whether we win or lose with Maguire, I'm still going to be upset that he played. Because unless he puts in a performance to be remembered right now, he deserves to be dropped. It's as simple as that. I don't think he comes back into the squad anytime soon. Especially if he comes back in with his captain's armband. I think me and a lot of the United fans, probably you included, will be fuming that it hasn't been given straight back to Bruno after what he did against PSG. I'm sorry, if you can lead your team to victory against PSG, you are a proper leader. That's the thing. That's the difference. We don't see that from Maguire. We see nothing like that from Maguire.
I think I stand by it. I think if Maguire played against PSG, we lose that game. We lose that game.
Yeah.
I definitely lose that.
I can think so as well. I'm not gonna lie, because he has to actually replace Tuanzebe or Lindelof, who both had really good games at the end of the day, and I think we would have allowed so many more chances. We already allowed a good amount of chances against PSG. And that isn't good, to say the least, because they are lethal finishers. And if De Gea is just that millisecond off, it's late. And having Maguire with zero pace, running around like a headless chicken trying to catch Mbappe, that isn't going to work. That really isn't going to fly. And we're going to see De Gea have to pull off 10 saves versus 5, It's things like that really make the difference for our backline. We need to make sure De Gea has the most comfortable saves possible, and we need to limit as many saves that he can make as possible. That's what you should be doing as a defender. You shouldn't be allowing him to run circles around you before you finally figure out that he's behind you now. And you don't foul your teammate instead of actually fouling the person.
But I said in the preview as well, even Maguire is for don't play him for PSG because we need all the pace we can get. So I think, Lindelof, he might not be the fastest, but he's faster than Maguire. So I think every bit of pace we needed was very crucial. And, again, against Chelsea, I think that's the same thing, Chelsea don't have a slow team. They've got a very fast team. Aerially, they're not good aerially anyway, so you don't even need an aerial presence like Maguire that much. Our centre-back should be able to, especially Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe can cover it, even if he has to, he can cover it. And I think with the form De Gea has been on, he looks a bit confident. So I think De Gea he's feeling himself also. So we'll just have to see that. But also, a bit of breaking news. I literally just seen this now on the Twitter feed, but where's it gone? It literally popped up on my screen, distracting me so much. But it's from United Report. It said, following the implications of Alexis Sanchez's £400,000 a week contract, Manchester United are unwilling to offer Paul Pogba a Sanchez-style contract. Now, that's just a bit of breaking news. It came out like half an hour ago. It's very interesting because I think to keep Paul there, you'll probably have to offer that much money. I think, there is lots of hope. But then I don't side with it because the Glazers also trying to save money. I think if there is a player you give 400, it's probably Paul Pogba or Bruno Fernandes. Those type of players, you probably do give them that much. But if you look at it in footballing terms, I can also say that Paul Pogba doesn't necessarily deserve £400,000 a week at the moment. He doesn't deserve it. But then also part of me I don't care because it's not my money. I hate the Glazers. Paul Pogba is one of my favorite players. Pay the money. So I don't know what to think about that. But what do you have to think about that?
I think it creates an interesting dilemma because if Pogba's asking for ridiculous wages, more in it for the money than he is for the team right now. I think that's an argument that can be made right now. Is Pogba just looking for that giant pay rise and just hoping that he'll still be in contention every now and then? Or is he doing this to kind of force a move away? Is he making ridiculous statements to go, okay, you're not going to offer this, but Real Madrid will, Juve will, PSG will. So maybe you guys need to think about that a little bit more. So I don't know. It could be a bit of a cash grab. It could be trying to force a move. But hopefully it's none of that. And that would just kind of overreacting at a situation that can be resolved easily. And Paul Pogba will take a decent wage that isn't 400k a week like Alexis Sanchez. Because you saw what that did to Alexis Sanchez as well. He very clearly didn't have any drive to want to play for this club. Even just the controversy that came out straight after the first training, I want to rip up my contract. So we don't need that kind of attitude. And when you're paying someone that much money that isn't giving their all for the badge, it's tough because Paul Pogba hasn't quite been doing that yet. He's been on the track to doing that.
He doesn't deserve at the moment 400k. He doesn't deserve it. Yeah.
Sure.
But at the end of the day,
Paul Pogba for sure,
because
he deserves a giant paycheck.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm a Paul Pogba, stan, and I love Paul Pogba. One of my favorite players at Manchester United. Definitely was, but Bruno's taken that spot at the moment. But Paul Pogba is amazing. He's an amazing footballer on his day, best midfielder in the world. But you got to put in the performances, and you're not doing that at the moment. So But then again, like if I was Paul Pogba FC fan, or I would be saying, why does that matter? He's Paul Pogba. He does deserve it. And why do you guys care? It's the Glazers. It's just literally the Glazers not wanting to pay money again. It's the Glazers. You can very much spin it that way. You can basically much say, look, the Glazers don't want to even pay salaries for Paul Pogba to keep a player like Paul Pogba. But I don't. Part of me also thinks they're not true because I think the Glazers, if there's one player they do know a lot about them, they probably do appreciate a lot, is Paul Pogba. He is the most marketable player on our squad. No one can, sell boots, sell sponsors, get social media interactions like Paul Pogba. Whether it's bad social media, good social media, Paul Pogba will do numbers like no one else can. So, I wouldn't put it past the Glazers to see how important he is. I would put it past the Glazers to eventually give Paul Pogba that £400,000 a week if he does start performing and he does show that, listen, I want to be let me sign the contract. Yeah. But I would also you can't. It's only natural to question Paul Pogba's ambitions if he does sign a contract like that, £400,000 a week. Yeah. That's the highest paid English player. Definitely, I think. I don't even know. I don't even think because our wages are ridiculous. I don't think Salah's, Mane's, Alisson's. They're not on our wages. They're not. I think Alisson could probably earn the same or even less than Dean Henderson, who sits on our bench. That's how crazy it is. That's how crazy our wages are. And it just shows, again, everything relates to it. Where do I relate to? This club will never go to where we want it without the Glazers. Up the top, ownership, structure, Ed Woodward, things up there have to really change for, United to have a big change in the football club. But at the moment, to recap, Mason Greenwood, allegations denied from Oli backing Mason Greenwood. Have to see what happens to that. Alex Van-Zebe, Harry Maguire, Edison Cavani, fit for Chelsea, So let's see what he does with the team selection. Obviously, Paul Pogba, new contract, just breaking some news there. Unwilling to give £400,000 a week. Whether or not you think that's fair, let us know down in the comments below. Playing Chelsea this weekend, well, tomorrow, because the video will be out today. But tomorrow, we're playing Chelsea tomorrow. Let's get on a win. Let's only worry about what we can worry about for now, and that's things on the pitch. So our main focus. Let's switch to Chelsea. Remember, as always, Glazers out, Woodward out. Keep preaching it. Keep preaching it, and I think that is all. Clayton, is there anything else you want to say?
It's just a very tough time to be a United fan for sure again, and we just need to try to stay united as possible going forward. That's about it. I just think we need that unity going forward now.
Yeah, don't be a ticket to our own fan base. Everyone has their opinion. Maybe their opinion could be extremely wrong, but they are fan of the football club. But at the end of the day, if you're a United fan, what do you want your United to do? Win football matches. That's all you want. You want successful United football club. So it's not our fault.
Success.
The Glazers. It's Woodward's fault. It's those people's fault. If you want anyone to blame,
Yeah.
Woodward, Glazers, and maybe Ollie, depending on certain decisions. But
Yeah.
that is all from us for now. If you are new, please do subscribe and smash a like on the video. And please do comment down below your thoughts on Mason Greenwood, Edison Cavani, Paul Pogba, and Harry Maguire, Tanzania. Everything we discussed today, please let us know down below. And also your score predictions for Chelsea tomorrow. Hopefully to see quite a lot of Man United, wins. But from me and Clayton, that is all for now. And we will check you tomorrow on our match reaction versus Clayton's B team, Chelsea.